Welcome to the Book Talk Babes podcast, where we will be discussing different book-related topics and occasionally specific books. This episode will contain explicit language and may contain spoilers, so please check the episode description for a list of books that were spoiled. My name is Ashley, and today I'm joined by my lovely friend Elaine.
Hello.
Welcome, new listeners. Thank you, returning listeners. Today's topic is going to be kind of like a, I don't know what, two for one. It's a if they write it, I will read it, and the first book versus our favorite book written by specific authors. Goodness gracious. Hopefully I can start talking throughout this episode. Okie dokie. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I can go first? Okay. I'm going to start real easy and say SJM. And like I can confidently say if she writes it, I will read it because I have read all of them. Everything that she has written that I am aware of, I think.
Yeah.
Unless she's got some sort of secret fan fiction that she writes somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I know some authors do. They won't tell anybody what their usernames are on the fanfic websites. But for her, the first book I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses. But my favorite book, one of my favorite books, I'll say, because I like more than just one, but we'll say Heir of Fire from the Throne of Glass series.
Okay.
That's always my go-to one when someone's like, which one's your favorite? I'm like, that one.
Yeah.
I just got some book news about her from Steven, my husband, today.
Oh, wow.
Apparently Utah, this will be old news by the time this comes out, but apparently Utah, as a state, the whole state banned her books in schools.
Oh, wow.
There was like 12 other books that were on that list as well. The part that like really breaks my heart, because I don't like book bans of any kind, but I get like, okay, like A Court of Silver Flames does not need to be in an elementary or middle school at all.
Yeah.
Maybe high school, but that's pushing it. But like all the articles I read about it basically made it out like they're just gonna like have to throw those books away. And I'm like, you can't just round them all up and just donate them to some used bookstores or something. Like you're just gonna throw them away. Like, just,
Right.
Absolute idiots. But yeah,
Donate them to the library.
something like it was like the rules on it were like they couldn't be resold and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well then don't sell them. Like, give them.
Yeah. Donate them.
But whatever.
Don't just throw them out.
Yeah. We'll see. I guess I'll see what happens, but that's my little fun fact for today.
Yeah. I do remember seeing A Court of Mist and Fury, the second book, was on a banned book list.
Oh.
I think in Texas.
That makes sense.
Because we had that on display for our banned book.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're gonna ban that one. They should. The Court of Silver Flames needs to be on there then.
I know. I think this might have been like
It's probably before that one came out. Yeah.
Yeah, before that one came out. Yeah.
The stupidity I'll never understand.
I know. Okay. I'll start with well, this author is no longer with us, but it's an author that like I loved growing up. Lois Duncan.
Okay.
They're like a young adult mystery thriller writer.
Okay. That name sounds familiar.
And, yeah. Oh, it's the author that does I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I've talked about her before. Surprisingly, I still haven't read I Know What You Did Last Summer. But yeah, I love her books. I'm in the process of trying to collect all of them too. because I think you can only buy them in like the mass market ones. So I have quite a few. I surprisingly still don't have I Know What You Can Do Last Summer, but I have like the rest
Everyone's
of
holding on to that one.
them. I know, right? Yeah, I believe the first book I read from her was called Ransom.
Okay.
And I can't choose between Ransom or Summer of Fear as my favorite. Those were like the first two books I read by her. And absolutely loved them.
Okay.
But yeah, I think she has a lot more. I think she has like a true crime books as well.
Oh, that's fun.
Like I think it's nonfiction.
Oh,
or
okay.
it's like maybe it's like fiction that's based off of or something like that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, when I was looking up to see like what else she wrote. I was like, oh, okay. I got to look up. Gotta keep an eye out for those.
Right. I used to have an ongoing list on my phone for an author. Well, two authors that I was trying to like get a hold of as many of their books as I could. But I kept losing track of where I was at in the series. So I kept a list on my phone. So I'd be like, okay, I have these. I need these. I haven't read all of them. I've read 3 of the like 15 that I have. Okay. So my next one is going to be Pierce Brown, the author of the Red Rising series. And so for him, Red Rising, which the series is the only thing that well, okay, that's a lie. I guess technically there's a graphic novel that he has written, and I think he's co-written a few other things with people. But Red Rising was the first book, and my favorite was his latest book in that series, which is Lightbringer. Which honestly, Lightbringer is one of my it's one of the best books I think I've ever read out of all the books I've ever read. But unfortunately, you have to read the whole series to get there. To
get to that one. Yeah.
I can't just be like, read Lightbringer. You would not understand anything that's happening. But yeah, so obviously Red Rising, the first book in the series, and then Lightbringer was my favorite. There's one more book coming out. Maybe next year. We'll see.
How many books altogether so far does he have out?
6.
6.
And there'll be 7. And then there's I think there's 2 or 3 graphic novels that are like prequels to the series.
Oh, okay. My next author is another YA author, Marissa Meyer.
Okay.
She does the Lunar Chronicles. Mm-hmm. There's another thing that she does, Renegades. I own all the books. I've read all of them. I think there's only one book that I own that I haven't read from her, and I think it's Heartless, which is I think like
okay,
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's
inspired. That's the only one I haven't read yet. Oh, I think she has another book, Instant Karma, that I haven't read yet too. But that one I think is somewhat recent.
Okay.
But yeah, the Cinder book, which is the first book of the Lunar Chronicles, was the first book I read. It's basically it's a Cinderella story, but like she's like a cyborg.
That's so cool.
Basically, like it's so cool. I don't know. Yeah, the way she does everything in the story is really cool, and it apparently started off as like Sailor Moon fan fiction.
Oh,
which I absolutely love Sailor Moon, and you can kind of see the inspiration too when you read it. So and I think Cinder would be my favorite. Yeah,
first and favorite.
First and favorite. I always try to recommend it whenever people ask for recommendations at work.
I was like, you recommended it to me, and I haven't done it yet.
No, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I keep telling my mom too and my sister, and they still won't read it either. They're like, "What should I read?" And I tell them, and they're okay.
They're like, "Okay, I'm going to read this instead."
Yeah,
that's funny. Okay, my next one will be Michael J. Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
who is one of my favorite fantasy authors. This one was hard to pick my favorite because he has so many books. And I just love all the stories all together. And I've listened to them so many times that like I can't definitely say where one begins and ends in the story. Because they all just kind of mesh together for me now. But the first one I ever read, and the one I recommend starting with if anyone ever wants to read his books, is Theft of Swords. So far, the people I know that have read this because I've suggested it to them, none of them have started with Theft of Swords, but that's fine. That is fine. But if I had to pick a favorite, I would say probably Theft of Swords or Farrelline. I'm not sure which way you're supposed to say it anymore because they said it one way in the narration and then the author said it a different way in one of the videos I was watching. So it's one of those. But yeah, I really, 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 really like that one. I have a feeling we're going to have some same ones.
Well, we should probably say Victoria Aveline. Is that going to be one of yours?
Yeah, that's going to be a same one.
Yes. Let's go ahead and say that one.
Okay. I think both of our first was choosing Theo, right?
Yes, both of them choosing Theo. My fave is using Feiho.
Yeah. I feel like I have to say mine's, what is it, Tempting Ozed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Since he was my top pick so far in the ranking of Quicanian men. So I'll go with my favorite as being Tempting Ozed.
Yeah. We probably already know Liana's favorite is Sixth Dan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
We can do that one for Liana. Her first was Choosing Theo, and her favorite is I don't know what the title is of that one.
Is it Resisting?
Maybe?
No.
I don't know. It's always just we always just refer to it as Sick Dan.
Yeah.
That sounds right though.
Oh no, it's Ruling Sick Dan.
Ruling Sick Dan. Okay.
Ruling Sick Dan.
There you go. That's Liana's part for this. Since she abandoned us for San Diego. Just kidding.
San Diego. Okay, so that one was both of us.
Is you go ahead. You pick one. Or one your next one.
Okay. This is a new author that I recently got into. As far as I know, they only have 3 books out, and I've read the first 2. Absolutely love them. I just bought the 3rd book, so I'm excited to read that one. And this one is Kimberly Lemming. The first book was That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. And my favorite is the second one, which is That Time I Got Drunk and Needed a Love Potion at a Werewolf.
I love those titles so much.
I love the titles. They're so great. These books are they're so funny. I think it's a little bit of a cozy fantasy romance.
Okay.
And the humor in it is so funny. It's so good. Highly recommend.
Let's see. To nobody's surprise, I'm sure on this list is Bryn Weaver. Now, she's one of the ones I've only read 2 of her books, but she has more books than that. They are all on my TBR. I have even a little special checklist for them because I want to read everything. I have Black Sheep, which will probably be the next one I read. And then if everything goes according to plan, tomorrow I'll be pre-ordering some special edition of some other book she has. But my first was Butcher and Blackbird, and my favorite is Butcher and Blackbird.
Mm-hmm.
I finished Leather and Lark, and I did love it as almost as much. But Butcher and Blackbird just has a special place in my cold, dead, serial killer loving heart, apparently.
Oh, I forgot to tell you that Butcher and Blackbird, the paperback, came into work and I got it.
Yay!
So I officially own it.
Yay! My sister, okay, this is another tangent. I think I've turned my sister into a reader. Finally.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
She texted me the other day and she's like, hey, because I bought her some books that we are going to read together. And she was like, hey, what books did you get me again? And I told her, I was like, why? And she goes, I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble. And I was like, what? Oh my God. You're going to go buy books? And she was texting me while she was there. She's like, have you read this? Have you read that? And then she left. She got, because I made her listen to Butcher and Blackbird. So she got Leather and Lark, and I can't remember what the other one was. Not important. She got Leather and Lark. So I was excited. Who do you got next?
Another author that I think they only have 3 books out right now. I've read all 3 of them, and they have a new book upcoming in September, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that one. This is Kate Pryor.
Okay.
I believe is how you say it. It's part of the Claws and Cubicles.
Okay.
It's like the monster office romance books. Yeah, Love, Laugh, Lich was the first book.
Okay.
And my favorite was the second one, the orc from The Office. It's such a cute little. It's such a cute book.
Those are cute.
They're so cute.
You find the books with the best titles.
Yes. I think that's what like draws me in to read it too.
Yeah.
Like I just like love the titles. So I was like, okay, I have to read this. It's so funny.
Okay. My next one is kind of, I'm going to do them together. But one of the authors they've co-authored a bunch of books, and then one of the authors has her own series that she's written. So I'm just going to do them together. And that's Amy Vance and B. Perkins. They are indie authors. And so for Amy Vance individually, she has a time-traveling Viking fantasy romance trilogy. The third book hasn't come out yet. But so the first one was Fates Illuminated. And the second one's Fated. Oh my God, I wrote it down wrong. Fates Promised. And that's I would like, obviously I read Fates Illuminated first, but my favorite was the second one, Fates Promised, so far. And then the books that she wrote with B. Perkins were the Deadlights Cove series, and they're working on another one called Timber Creek that are all interconnected. So the first one I read was Smoke Show. My favorites are Wing and a Miss and Wild Wild Wolf. I have a feeling the new one that comes out in the Timber Creek series, because Deadlight Coves is finished, but Timber Creek, I can't remember when the second book comes out. I want to say it's this fall, but that one's going to have a vampire in it. So we know how I feel about that. So I have a feeling I might like that one better than Wild Wild Wolf, but we'll see. But yeah, I love them so much.
Okay, so we might have this one in common. Dahlia Davies.
Oh, I didn't put that one on here.
No,
I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot. See, this is what happens when I don't go through Goodreads.
No, yes, Dahlia Davies.
Yes, I am working my way through those.
The first one, of course, was Railed by the Easter Bunny. And my favorite has to be the second one, Banging the Easter Bunny.
Oh, it's like I've only technically finished 3 of them, so I would have to say the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've officially read all of them except for Railed by the Tooth Fairy.
I was just about to ask how that one is because that does not appeal to me.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of stopping me from reading it. But I've officially read everything except for that one. I probably will read it.
I have never thought.
I do own the book.
The Tooth Fairy might be hot. No, I mean, I guess what's his face played the Tooth Fairy in a movie, The Rock. I guess that Tooth Fairy could be attractive.
Well, this Tooth Fairy is I think female.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Although from what I hear, like the gods can interchange.
Yeah, I was like, they're very gender fluid.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think it's the Tooth Fairy's mostly, like, I guess female presenting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way like she's described in a few of the other books, it sounds like she has like shark teeth.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what's like. I'm just like, ooh, how is that?
Hey, you never know. New kink might be unlocked.
So, but yeah, and like I read a lot of like her little short stories. Well,
you're part of her Patreon, right?
Yeah, I got part of her Patreon. Well, I kind of not anymore, but I got on it so I could like read all of the little short stories stuff, like the bonus stuff. So like, yeah, I was part of that. So I think I've read the majority of those. I also just bought a book that she did with the collaborations of multiple authors.
So like what is it, like an anthology or whatever is what they call it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's an anthology. It's called Love Archives.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the one that all the proceeds, I believe, go to
it's the Gaza
Palestine
stuff, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
So yeah, so I pre-ordered. I think I got the ebook and then I got all 4 volumes. In fact, the second volume, which is I think is the one that has hers, arrived first.
Oh, nice.
And the other 3 should be arriving today sometime.
Yay! That's exciting.
Yeah, so it's exciting. I already read that. Like I got it, and I was so happy it arrived before I had to go to work. So I like read it real fast. Then it's like, okay, gotta get ready for work.
What did she do her story on?
So in that one, it's from the Easter Bunny.
Okay.
Series, and it's when he takes her to Babel, so he can like where they do it in front of everyone to like be like they need to know that you're mine. Yeah. But it's his point of view.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
that's fun.
So it's like really special. So it's like, oh,
that's
kind of cute because you don't get his point of view at all. So
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, and also there's an author named Elaine in that one. So I was like, okay, I gotta read.
There you go. You gotta read that one now. You gotta get on that. Someone posted something the other day about a book and I clicked on it and I was like, oh, it's the 3rd one in a series. So I messaged her. I'm like, all right, are these standalones or do I need to read them in order? And she goes, they're kind of standalones, but you really should read them in order. I'm like, all right, they're all on my TBR.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Liz.
Even if it's, I find myself, even if like they are standalones, I still want to start from the beginning.
I still want to know everything about everybody.
Yeah,
but
so I will still read like.
Yeah, I didn't look up what happens or like anything about the first 2, and I just saw like what like tropes and stuff were in that one. I was like, ooh, that sounds really fun. So maybe I'll just read them out of order. I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah,
I will do R.F. Kuang as my next one. Again, I think I have I have read all of her books, I think, that she currently has out right now. My first one was The Poppy War that I did as a buddy read that introduced me to my good book friend, Hema. And then this is the one where I picked 2 for a favorite because I really liked the Dragon Republic. which I think is the second book of that series. And then I really liked her standalone Babel a lot. Which is funny because I would say that's definitely one of my favorites. But I didn't get any sort of special edition of that. And I'm kind of kicking myself for it.
Oh, Babel?
Yeah, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I'm sure I could find one if I really wanted to.
It's funny that I just talked about the books being delivered today, and I just got a message saying that they were delivered.
Oh, are they on your porch?
Yeah.
Do you need to go get them?
Yeah,
go get them.
Yay.
Yay.
They're here.
All right. Your turn, right? Yeah.
Yes. Next one I have is Rainbow Rowell. The first book I read from them was Fangirl, which I just bought like a special 10th anniversary edition.
Oh, I saw that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Yeah, it's like basically about a girl. Like, she changes the story, of course, to Simon and Baz. But it's like, yeah, she basically writes fan fiction of them, and they're basically Draco and Harry. Yeah. And then she has another series off. I think people loved it so much that they wanted her to write the Carry On fan fiction, and so she writes that.
Okay.
As well. And so, like, my favorite book would have to be the third book of that series, the Simon and Baz, which is I lost it. Anyway, the Wind Blows.
Oh, okay.
It's number 3. Okay. It's really cute. It's a really, really cute story. I've read other stuff from her. Was it Eleanor? Eleanor Park is really cute. She has a graphic novels called like Pumpkinheads. This is really, really cute. I think she's even like co-wrote a few like She-Hulk.
Oh, that's cool.
Graphic novel, like comics and graphic novels. Yeah, there's a few other ones. There's like, I think they're more on the adult fiction that I haven't read. Yeah. Okay. Other than that, I pretty much read almost everything else by her.
I love it. Okay, this one might be on yours. Okay. Ashley Poston.
Oh, no, nope. But I should be. Yeah. It should be.
You're welcome. Now, I know she has...
Although...
Well, I know she has more than the 2 books that I have read. Because she used to write YA, right?
Yes, she has... Because I have assigned Geekerella.
Okay.
Which is YA. And I think there's 3 books to that.
Okay. So I haven't read any of her YA stuff. But first was The Dead Romantics. And then yes. I read 7 Year Slip. And then my book club for this month picked a novel love story. So
a novel love, yay.
I'm excited to start that. But yeah, I have to say my first and my favorite was The Dead Romantics, which that was tough because I really liked the 7 Year Slip also. But The Dead Romantics, I don't know. That one also has like a special place in my heart.
Yeah, it's funny how I own a signed copy of Geekerella, but Dead Romantics was my first book that I've read from her.
Oh, okay.
But that makes me want to like
read her other stuff.
Read her other stuff. Yeah. I do own the 7 Year Slip now. I've heard a lot of good stuff.
It's so good.
So yeah, I do want to read more of her stuff as well.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so this next one is like a graphic novel artist. I think he's co-written them with like other authors. But his name is Brian K. Bong.
Okay.
Bong, I think. The first one I read from him was the Saga, which I know he does with another person.
Okay. I know that one.
Yeah, that one. They went on hiatus for a while, and now they're back to going up. So yeah, I read up to volume 10. The newest one came out, volume 11. I haven't read yet, but still ongoing. but I absolutely love Saga. They also did Why the Last Man, which I've read all of those. I think he's written a few of the Buffy comics as well.
Okay.
And I've only read the first novel, the first volume of Paper Girls, but I need to read those because they just turned that into, I think, a TV series.
Okay, I was like, that sounds familiar also.
On Prime. Yeah. Paper Girls.
Okay.
I think they tried to do Why the Last Man as a TV show, but I think they did it during COVID. And I think like the people like kicked a lot of like homeless people out to film, and so people were like, that's not good, so they kind of,
it's not cool.
So it didn't really do very well, so I think they're not doing it anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but the comic is really good.
Go read the comic.
I read the comic, but Saga, I think so far Saga is my favorite.
Yeah. I think Steven had started that when it first, I think, came out, if I remember correctly. I feel like I have. It's probably somewhere in my house. I share part of a bookshelf with him. So it's probably on that one. Okay. So I put Suzanne Collins on here. Because I think I don't know how many books, but I feel like there's at least one book or something of hers I haven't read. I've obviously read The Hunger Games and A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I'm going to read the new one. But I feel like she has another book or maybe a book series.
She has another
right?
series.
Okay, that's what
a young adult series.
That's what I thought. Don't know the name of it, so yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
So I don't know if I can. I mean, if they write it, I'll read it. Maybe I'd read those, but I did feel like she deserved a mention on here because going forward, if she writes anything about the Hunger Games, I'm going to read it.
Yeah. Apparently we're going to get Haymitch.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. That's what I originally wanted, I think, for Bowie Against Snow instead.
So, yeah. So if she writes anything in the Hunger Games universe, I will read it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
As far as though a first and a favorite, I don't know. I guess I could just be generic and say the Hunger Games was my first, obviously, and then I think I'd say it's my favorite, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite.
I devoured those the first time I read them, so.
Yeah, I honestly think the Hunger Games was the first Kindle book I ever read.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember staying up like really late and then like rushing to buy the second one.
Yeah,
right after.
Yup. So yeah, if she writes anything Hunger Games related, I will read it. So will everyone else.
I just saw that I think they're coming up with a illustrated version of the first book.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I know they were releasing like new special editions or whatever, or re-releasing editions. I don't know if it's going to be here, if it's just the UK, but they're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking up
if I need them.
I was looking up our list of like new releases that we have, and I saw illustrated.
That's so cool.
Hunger Games, and I was like, "What? Like, I didn't know that was happening." I think it's gonna be like towards the end of the year.
That might be worth getting
when it comes out,
collectible wise.
Yeah, I'm excited for
Let's
that.
keep an eye out. Alrighty, who do you have next?
Next, so this is, I don't even know if it's like a publisher, but it's like a anthology graphic novels that come out. And it's Smut Peddler Presents, and then it's like the whatever the title is of the graphic novel. I've started reading those, and then I have a coworker too that owns a lot of them that's let me borrow
that's
a few
exciting.
of them. But yeah, I actually came across my monster boyfriend.
Okay.
I can't remember where I came up, maybe on Instagram or something. I ended up buying it because I think I had a gift card to Barnes & Noble, so I got it. And I absolutely love it. I've read the other ones. I've read several other ones by them, but my Monster Boyfriend
Is your favorite?
is my favorite. Yeah, they do have a Monster Girlfriend. My Monster Girlfriend that came out too.
Okay.
That I've read.
That tracks our little monster lover.
Yeah.
Which, we call you the monster loving expert, but I think we've turned Liana onto monster romance.
Yes.
Based off of some of the books that she sends us in our group message.
Yes. I've officially converted her.
Or maybe it's just specifically orcs, maybe.
And gargoyles.
Oh, gargoyles. That's right. Gargoyles are favorite. We're just putting Liana's monster loving on blast here. She's not here to defend herself. Yeah, no, you definitely, I would say converted her. Yeah, like you said. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yes.
Okay, my next one will be Tracy Dion, who wrote the Legendborn series. It's not finished. So there's only 2 books. And I have read both. Obviously, my first was Legendborn. It's very hard to pick a favorite out of those 2. Just because the ending of the second one is wild and I don't know where it's going. So I'm just going to pick the first one. We'll say Legendborn is my first and it's my favorite. But I am I cannot wait to read the next book. I don't even know if it has a release date. I'm sure it does, but I can't keep track of all that.
Yeah.
But I guess those are YA fantasy stuff. I think it's getting a TV show too.
Well, that's
if
cool.
I remember correctly.
My next one would be Katie Robert. I think I've read a majority of or at least half of the Wicked Villain series.
Okay.
And I've read one of her monster ones, the Kraken.
Okay.
I really want to read the dragon one, Dragon's Bride.
Oh.
I keep pushing it back for other things, but I really want to read it. Yeah, she's the one that I really want to I want to try to read all of it. I think I own Neon Gods as well.
Yeah, okay. I was I've read the what is it? Is it Dark Olympus?
Yeah,
something
the Dark Olympus one. Yeah. Yeah, I own the ebooks of those ones too. So I own a lot of her ebooks that I need to read.
She's got a lot of books.
I do want to read down. Yeah,
she busts those out.
She does. But Beast, I think, was the first book I read from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Beast is my favorite so far.
I really like that one.
Yeah, from the Wicked Villain series. Oh, I just remembered too that Dahlia Davies also has other books written by another pen name.
Oh.
So I need to figure out those other pen names and read those as well.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
She has a lot more books than I thought.
Keep the world separate with different names.
I think another pen name is they're not monster romances. I think they're more...
Oh, are they more contemporary?
Yeah, more contemporary, but...
Okay. Yeah, no, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is going to be Allie Hazelwood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on my list too.
Which I've only read one of her books, which was Bride, which I feel like I could easily probably say, I mean, obviously it's my first, is my favorite. Also, Werewolves and Vampires, come on.
Yes.
But I do want to read her whole backlog. I do have Not in Love, which when I first heard that was coming out, I was really hoping it was going to be a sequel to Bride and that Not was going to be KNOT.
No.
But it's not the case. I was very disappointed to find out that was not the sequel, but that's fine. I really want to read. It's going to be hard reading her back stuff because she keeps coming out with books. So like I know some other books coming out soon-ish. I'm like, wait a second, I haven't finished. Like I haven't started Not in Love. Slow down.
I've heard from a few people that Not in Love is a bit different.
Yeah, I've heard it's different, and it's
than her other works.
It's very like what is it, like polarizing? Like people either love it or they hate it. Like there hasn't been many in between people. But I'm excited for it.
I think I've read 3 of Allie Hazelwood's books.
Okay.
So far, and I do want to continue reading. Like I'm really excited to read Bride. I really want to read Bride.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah. The Love Hypothesis, I think, was the first book I read.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I read 2 of the 3 of the like short stories that she's done, and Stuck With You, probably my favorite from hers so far. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that one. That one's really good.
There's so many books, not enough time.
Yes.
That's how I'm currently feeling right now.
I do own Bride now.
Yay!
I think I recently got Bride.
I saw someone post like some sort of special edition that they had, and I'm like, where did you get that? I need it.
No.
Your turn? My turn. Your turn. What do you got next?
I think my turn. Me and Nikki. Okay, well, I do want to read all of Ice Planet Barbarians, so I guess Ruby Dixon
okay.
as well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Obviously, the first one is Ice Planet Barbarians. I honestly don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I've only read the first 3.
Okay.
But I own like the first 5 books.
See, I couldn't work in a bookstore of any kind. I will have no money. I would get my paycheck and be like negative.
Well, the good thing is that like we get like during our like when we like our year. So like it's my 5th year anniversary. I got money in my card.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we sometimes get yearly bonuses, and so sometimes I'll like use those.
Yeah.
Or like we get quarterly bonuses. Sorry, and if there's not enough money to give people, they will put money on our card. So
that's nice.
So sometimes they'll give us free money to buy books.
Maybe I do need to work at a bookstore.
I know.
Steven's going to hear that and he's going to be like, no. She does not need to work at a bookstore.
I know, it's really hard. But yeah, because sometimes I have to keep telling myself, like, you don't need that right now.
Yeah.
It'll come back. You'll see it again. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
I know, it's really hard.
Yeah. I feel like I've been doing good lately of being like, do you really need that? No, you don't.
I know. Me too. My like shelf is actually, I can fit my purse on it. So for a while now. So. Yeah, like there's not enough. I'm not like storing a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I put a lot of stuff back and was like, they'll come back. You'll be okay. You need this shelf to put your stuff on.
This is a good segue. Daniel L. Jensen, who wrote The Bridge Kingdom, which that was the first book I read so far out of like, I mean, I haven't read everything that she's written because she's written quite a bit. I know some of her series are like YA stuff. I do have, I think, a couple of them like on my Kindle. But as of right now, my favorite would be The Inadequate Heir, which is like, I think, book 3 of the Bridge Kingdom series. But like my copy of A Fate Inked in Blood has the blue foil edges, which was like the first editions or whatever that came out. And I saw it everywhere. I did not pre-order it. I kept seeing it everywhere. And I was like, no, you don't need it, Ashley. And then we were at Target one day and they had 2 copies, one with the foil and then one with nothing. And I'm like, fine, I'm going to get it. So I got the blue foiled edges. And now that the second book's coming out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to pre-order that one to make sure I get the red foiled edges. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just started A
Inked in
Fate
Blood.
Inked in Blood. Yeah.
Which, reminder, everybody, that's going to be our next deep dive book episode whenever. Seeing as how I clearly am still stuck in July based off of our group message the other day. That should come out sometime the end of August.
Yes.
I still can't believe I sent that text message.
That's fine.
It was just funny. I was looking at my calendar and I'm like, yeah, July. And I'm like, it's not July. It is August. Anyway. Okay, your next one.
I just looked at my calendar in May, or in my room, and it was still on May. It's like, oh man, I forgot to change
flip that over. We're so lazy. We are using. My husband picked out a Lord of the Rings calendar for last year, and like the last page is like it's like a picture, and then all of this year just like really small. And so that's what we've been using as our calendar this year instead of buying a new one. Which I guess could be my fault. He's like, you can pick the calendar this year. And I'm like, no, this is fine. I'm good. Okay, your turn.
My turn. Okay. CM Nescosta. Okay, we've only read the first two. We've only read two, but I loved it so much that I want to read more from her. So I'm excited to read.
Yeah. I should have put that one on here because I definitely want to continue that series.
Yes. I definitely want to continue. So that one, I'm excited just to continue reading the series.
Again, I don't know how I feel about Mothmen because I'm scared of moths, but we'll see.
I know.
We shall see. I'm sure it'll be cute. I never thought I would, enjoy a Minotaur romance thing.
Right?
But
yeah.
I liked those so much. They were so good.
It was so good.
Okay, so my next couple, I can't pick a favorite for this one. T.E. Kinsey is a like British cozy mystery author, and he has this series called Lady Hardcastle. And it's this, I forget, it's like set in the 18 something or others. I think. Shit, I could be completely wrong. It is about Lady Hardcastle and her lady's maid, Armstrong. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot her name. How could I? She's my favorite character in that series. So they are retired spies for the British government. Lady Hardcastle's husband was like a British diplomat, but they recruited her and Armstrong to be like spies for them while her husband was in India doing whatever. And so they have all these crazy stories, but they're retired. They like move out to the countryside in this little bitty village. And like their first like couple of days there's a murder. And the first book is called A Quiet Life in the Country. And of course, they're like, okay, I guess we'll help solve this. And it's basically like the same thing every book is like something happens and then they end up having to help solve whatever crime has been committed or murder or whatever. But I love the audiobooks. They are amazing. Armstrong, the lady's maid, is my favorite character because she's a twin. She's Welsh and she grew up in a circus. So she's like this badass, like knife throwing, like can kick grown men that are, twice her size's ass and shit. Like, oh, I love her so much. But yeah, T.E. Kinsey, A Quiet Life in the Country is the first book. I don't know if I could pick a favorite out of all of his. Yeah, no, I refuse to pick a favorite. But those are just really fun, like I said, little cozy mystery They're not like suspenseful or anything like that. They're not going to give you nightmares or jump scares or anything like that. But they are definitely a comfort listen for me. Who else do I have? Oh, V.E. Schwab. I'm currently working through her. I don't know if I'll read her YA stuff, but I am currently working through her adult stuff. My first was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and my favorite is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I still have the third book of The Darker Shades of Magic, and then she's got another series that's separate from that, and then she just started writing again in the same world as A Darker Shade of Magic, so I need her to slow down because I can't keep up.
I do want to continue reading hers. This Savage Song, which is a young adult book, was my first book from her. And I have only read the Darker Shade of Magic book, which I really loved. So that will be my favorite.
You didn't read the second one yet, right?
No, I haven't read the second one yet. I do want to continue reading it. She also has another duology.
It's like the Vicious or something. Okay.
Yeah. And Vengeful.
Yeah.
So I started the audiobook of Vicious. Okay. And then I think I put it aside to read something else. But from what I listened to, it sounds really interesting. So I do want to finish that. Yeah, I think I bought both of those books. So yeah, I do want to read more from her. Yeah.
So do I. Okay, Mary Roach is a nonfiction writer. She's a journalist. I've only read 2 of her books. I think she has 3 or 4. So the first book of hers I read was Stiff, which is about human cadavers and what you can do with your body if you donate it to science. And then I would say, though, my favorite is the other one I read, which was Fuzz, about when nature breaks the law, how different places in different parts of the world handle those kinds of situations. So I love that stuff. I think she has one about like some astronaut, I think, and then some military one or something. I could be completely wrong. I might be lying. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Oh, Stiff got a new cover. Oh, she's got quite a few more than according to Goodreads, there's 23 books. So I'm slacking. Because the only ones I knew of were Packing for Mars, which is the curious science of life in the void. There was another one. Grunt is the other one I saw, which is the curious science of humans at war. But apparently she's got one called Spook, which is about afterlife. Oh, maybe we should read this one for the podcast. This one's called Bonk, the curious coupling of science and sex. So.
Oh, wait, I think I've seen that cover. Yeah.
Apparently, she's got a lot more books than I thought she did, so I need to work on that. That was not a very good example of if they write it, I will read it. Okay, my very last one will be Robert Jackson Bennett, who wrote The Tainted Cup, which is like it combines like murder mystery, fantasy. I don't always like comparing like books to other books, but it's got a very the 2 main characters are very like Sherlock and Watson-esque, because like one is like the detective investigator sort of person, and then the other main character is their assistant. And the one that's the investigator is like crazy freaking smart and observant, and it reminded me so much of like Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and it's so good. But it's like the first in a series. I know he has other books, so I want to work on those, but like I cannot wait for the second book to come out. I don't know how many he's planning on having, because like obviously like this first book like had a conclusion to the mystery that happens in it. So but it's a weird mix of almost like I don't know, almost like futuristic kind of technology, but at the same time, like they don't have phones. Everything's, like carrier birds or, just regular snail mail kind of thing. But they have like the science and technology to make these like genetically enhanced like creatures and people. They make everything is like plant based. Like all of their like buildings and structures are made out of either plant type stuff. Like their walls are like called fern paper and things like that. Like it's so cool. It is so fascinating. I love it. And then there's these big giant monsters called leviathans there's different rings of this world. So obviously the further inland you are, that's where like the more rich people and well-off people are, because they're the furthest away from the ocean, which is where the leviathans come from. And there's like a season, so like I don't really know exactly. I'm hoping we'll obviously get like more with that, but it's really cool. So like one of the main characters, the assistant, Den, his like genetic modifications that he's gone through are he's called an engraver. So he can literally recall and memorize like everything and anything. And him in particular, like he uses these like different synth vials. So like when he goes to the first crime scene, he pulls out one of them and all he has to do is just like walk around and look, and he'll memorize everything. So then when he goes back to her, he can report, like he'll sniff the vial and then he just reports everything that he saw, how he saw it and whatnot. It's so cool. He's so cool. I love him. He's obviously not the only one with that gift, but like that's his special like genetic mutation that he went through. So I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah,
so
sounds
good.
really interesting.
Of course, like I said, I don't know when the second book's coming out, so keep that in mind. You may end up torturing yourself like me, which I mean, I read it as a buddy read with some people on Instagram, so I wasn't about to say no. But I think, let's see. So it's book 1 of Shadow of the Leviathan. So far he has 3 books down total. The third book is untitled. The second one is A Drop of Corruption. According to Goodreads, it is expected in February of 2025.
February.
So feels like a long way off, but I'm sure it'll be here before I know it. Okay, I think I'm sure I'll listen back to this and be like, damn it. I forgot that author.
I just thought of one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this author has too many books out right now. But Bedeline Miller, who does The Song of Achilles.
Yeah.
And Circe. I've read The Song of Achilles and what is it? Galatia? Galatia?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to say that either. So
I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I think she only has those 3 out right now. But I really want to read Circe.
Yeah,
and
same.
I feel like if she were to write anything else, I probably would read it. I loved Song of Achilles. They have the other short story one was really good. Yeah, and I'm excited to read Circe. And again, if she writes anything else, I'll probably read it. Yeah.
Okay. So that is if they write it, we will read it.
Yeah.
Versus their first, our first book that we read of theirs versus our favorite book.
Oh yeah, Song of Achilles was my first book. And it's my favorite.
Yeah, I think that I don't know why I'm trying to search for more. I gave a pretty good list. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Okay. Again, reminder, A Fadington Blood will be our next deep dive episode thing. End of August is the plan. I'm not going to give it a specific date because every time I do that, we always change.
Yeah.
So I know this will come out next week. And then we'll have a couple more weeks of the month after that. But yeah, so if anyone wants to read that with us, I will probably start that soon. Do you have a what this week? Do you want to do a what this week? Or just what are you currently reading?
Well, I'm like 60% through Not Another Vampire Book.
Okay.
Yeah. I really want to finish it, but I put it aside because I was like, I really need to start A Fate Inked in Blood. So I just started that one today. I just read the first chapter today. I'll probably read some more later. I think that's it.
I am listening to a book called Alias Emma, which is like a female spy in the UK. I got immediately hooked. It's really good. It starts off really good. It's very fast paced. I don't know what percentage I am through it, but I'm getting close. I feel like to either the middle or the end. I feel like I'm on like chapter 15, and it's only like 200 and something pages, I think. So it's not a big book, but that one has been really fun to listen to. And then physically, I'm reading My Murder. My Murder's by Katie Williams, and I think Alias Emma is by Ava Glass. Yeah, Ava Glass. And then once I finish listening to that one, I'll be starting A Fate Inked in Blood. I'll probably alternate between audiobook and physical. I don't know. I don't want to mess up my physical book since it's got the edges. So I'm scared to use it. I already have the audiobook, so that's not a problem. But, well, I mean, I have a problem, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, if there's a book I want to read that I have, and if it's like a hardcover, I will probably go to the library. And,
I have a we'll get the ebook. I have a really, really hard time, like especially like any of the like special edition-y type ones. I'm like,
I want to be one of those people that like will read a physical book and like eat, but I'm afraid to like get something on it. So like I can't do that. And I see people do that like at the like at a cafe or something, like they're eating, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm such a messy eater.
It has to be something that I can have like complete control of. So like I will read my book and I'll hold it like up in front of my face, and then like I'll like if it's a finger food, I'm okay. But if it requires a fork and coordination, no. I'm not gonna risk it.
No. I know. I'm okay with my Kindle.
Yeah, right?
I think it's fine. But I can't do physical books. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah, makes me nervous.
I guess I want them to stay pretty.
Yeah. That's my problem. All right. That's all I've got. As always, thank you, listener, for joining us. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on our socials. We're Book Talk Babes Pod on Instagram and TikTok, and Book Talk Babes on Goodreads and StoryGraph. Please email us topics, questions, and book recommendations to booktalkbabespod@gmail.com or DM us on any of our socials. Everything is listed in the description. Have a lovely day and week. Until next time. Bye. Yay, we did it.
We did it.
I never doubted us.